13 unbelievable items found after tsunamis. A tsunami is a large ocean wave or series of waves that is caused by an earthquake or volcanic eruption under the sea floor. Tsunamis are not necessarily tall waves, rather they are super powerful and can travel multiple miles inland at destructive speeds. All that ocean disruption can cause some pretty crazy things to come to the surface, and we're here to tell you all about it. Here are 13 unbelievable items found after tsunamis. Number 13. Street sign. This solitary piece of wood doesn't appear to be much, but when you think of where it came from, it's actually a very impressive story. It has been identified as remains from an old street sign in Tanohata Village, a small town in the northeast region of Japan. The town was completely wiped out and swept into the ocean in the 2011 Japanese tsunami. If you look closely and can read Japanese, you'll see this sign reads, Shimanokoshi Village Housing. It's just one of many haunting reminders of what was lost in the terrible tsunami. Impressively, this plank of wood was not found until 2013, all the way on Kahuku Beach in the Hawaiian island of Oahu. This one sad street sign traveled almost 4,000 miles away, proving how truly amazing our vast oceans are. The sign was returned to its home village and now serves as a reminder of community and hope for rebuilding a brighter, stronger future. Number 12. Fortune-telling fish. The creature in this photo may just be the scariest sea serpent ever. It appears that this strange sea dweller didn't have itself too much of a good time when it decided to take a trip to the beach. An oarfish was the talk of the town in February 2017 because oarfish are so rarely sighted in real life. In nature, they dwell under the sea at 200 to 1,000 meters below the surface. Very rarely do they make their way to shallower waters, but if they do, things are not good for them. The usual snacks they feed off of, like plankton and krill, are hard to find, and their bodies, not equipped for sun and winds, are largely damaged by nature's elements. The mystery as to how and why oarfish swim towards the top of the sea is the most compelling of all. The oarfish used to be known as messenger from the sea god's palace in Japan, as sightings of one would mean the foreboding of a major event, like an earthquake. The science of the rumor has been debunked by a few scholars like Mark Benefield, an oceanographer from Louisiana State University, because apparently oarfish live nowhere close to the floor of the sea. If the theory were true, then we would likely see way more creatures appearing before an earthquake, but it doesn't help that this oarfish was spotted just days before the huge 6.7 magnitude earthquake hit the Philippines. Number 11. Meaningful football. This pleasant-looking couple doesn't seem like they would play games of soccer and volleyball in their backyard every day, but they did aid in helping a boy find a beloved object lost to Japan's 2011 tsunami. Alaskans David Baxter and his wife Yumi, who just so happens to be Japanese, discovered the ball when perusing the shores of Middleton Island, Alaska. He noticed the ball had Japanese lettering on it and knew that no better person but his own wife could get to the bottom of the situation. The ball was helpfully inscribed with the owner's name, Misaki Murakami. This old, dirty soccer ball seemingly wouldn't be much desired after floating around in the ocean for hundreds of miles, as new ones are not that expensive. But Murakami had received the ball as a going-away present when he was in the 3rd grade, and it held a lot of sentimental value to him. He was eternally grateful to have been reunited with a ball that had traveled over 3,000 miles from him. Number 10. Sea sheepdog. What does this mysterious mass look like to you? A snow-capped rock in the ocean? A lump of sea salt that's formed? If you ask us, this white lump of ocean mass appears to look like a large furry sheepdog. But this monster that recently washed up on the shores of the Philippines has everyone giving an opinion. The non-living creature became a local celebrity of sorts, as people came all the way to the shores of the Dinagat Islands just to grab a picture with it. Speculation occurred that it was the decomposed body of a squid, but its large size got in the way, as it measured in at 15 meters long. It's safer to assume that it was a large sperm whale. Most deceased marine life does not wash to the shores, so the mystery lies as to where it came from. It likely was the result of a 6.7 magnitude earthquake that shook the Philippines in February of 2017. But what causes the fur? Scientists confirm that even though the mass appears to be white fur, it's indeed what happens to decomposing marine flesh. Number 9. Water bike. This gilded gold bike would truly be worthy of a gold medal if it somehow managed to work after being dragged underwater for who knows how long. It was discovered in 2012 on Graham Island in British Columbia, Canada, inside of a storage container. The sheer fact that such a beautiful and heavy bike managed to wash ashore is pretty impressive. If that's not crazy enough for you, get this. The license plates on the bike had Japanese tags. The man who found the bike, Peter Mark, noticed this and instantly realized it was debris from the infamous and destructive tsunami in Japan the year before. The bike was traced back to its owner, Ikuo Yokoyama, who had been intimately affected by the tragedy. He lost many family members and many belongings to the large wave. After thoughtful consideration and rejecting a few offers from people who said they could restore the bike, Yokoyama donated the bike to the Harley-Davidson Museum in Milwaukee. He wanted to touch others' lives who were also both directly and indirectly affected from the incident. Number 8. Get away from here. Those teeth, those eye sockets, that horned head, that scary gape-mouthed roar. If we didn't know any better, we just assumed this was a fake set piece of a dragon head from Game of Thrones. The legitimacy of this found creature is a little iffy, but some websites claim it to be the devil fish from hell. It's speculated that this is some species of bottom-dwelling carnivorous fish, almost like a piranha, but way more intense. There's no official report announcing when or where this creepy creature was discovered, but we need to know. That way we can plan to never go there, ever. We have tons of video about insane and scary-looking ocean creatures, so go give them a watch. Number 7. Ahoy, mate. One thing is for sure, this boat is in definite need of a boat wash and a paint job after everything it's been through. Due to its long coastline, many interesting things are prone to find their way to California's beaches, but this find was truly special. It was discovered in Crescent City, California, and it actually belonged to Takata High School in Japan's Iwate Prefecture district. So what's all that brown vegetation, you may ask? The NOAA classified it as pelagic gooseneck barnacles. The boat was restored thanks to the help of students from Del Norte High School in California. Takata High School and Del Norte High formed a deep bond over the event and decided to become sister schools. The story was so special, a children's book was even written about it. Number 6. What in the world? It's not sure exactly what this fish is, but we kind of think it looks like an old man. His wrinkly skin and teeth without dentures only add to his classification. He was discovered after a tsunami in Japan, and we can't help but wonder if there are more fish out there like him. It'd sort of be like a retirement community for weird fish that may or may not have been affected by Japanese nuclear waste. Number 5. Buoys. These buoys were just common port objects before the Japanese tsunami of 2011, but on American soil, they look completely out of place. This yellow pod showed up on the shores of Northwest America, heightening fear that the United States West Coast couldn't handle the massive amounts of toxic debris that were set to come into the area. Years later, items from afar are still appearing in parts of Washington, Oregon, and California. The thought of how far away sea-traveling objects had to move just really proves how powerful the Pacific Ocean currents are. Number 4. It's both. With it appearing to weigh so much, it's no wonder that it took the full force of a tsunami to hoist this big guy out of the water and into human captivity. Researchers believe it to be some type of cross hybrid between a beluga whale and a shark, but who knew that those two species of animal could even breed? It was probably one of those shark from the wrong side of the tracks falls in love with the innocent but spontaneous beluga whale type romances. Number 3. Look out for this one. We're gonna need a bigger boat to deal with this guy. This huge fish washed ashore on the shores of New York Harbor after a miniature tsunami came and wiped out small portions of Brooklyn. The current carried hipsters all the way to Boston, Massachusetts, where their wicker hats and old-fashioned bicycles were not socially acceptable. This fish is called the April Fool's Day flounder because he is completely fake. This picture was actually originally posted on the New York Post as an introduction to another actual, real creature that was discovered. Number 2. One-eyed Susan. This fish appears to be so creepy that it is probing us to ask you this fun would you rather question. Would you rather eat this fish or have to stare in the eye for 3 hours straight? Neither option is preferable, and we say eye instead of eyes because apparently this fish only had one eye. The sheer look of terror in his eye was probably caused by the crazy powerful tsunami he had to surf all the way to shore. Number 1. MOSQUE remains. While many people tend to remember and focus on the 2011 tsunami in Japan, there have been many other horrible tsunamis that have caused much destruction over the years. For example, the Indian Ocean tsunami on December 26 of 2004. The town of Mulabo, located on the west coast of Sumatra, lost 40,000 citizens out of its already mid-sized population. This grayish-looking pod almost appears to be an old spaceship from the 1960s, but it actually means so much more to the people affected. Some people blame it on the wrath of God, who wanted to send a wake-up call to a reportedly sinful city, and the remaining mosques have been places to regain hope and strength.